Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah.
What off?
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the Reds Report Vodcast. This week on the show, my favourite Dutchman, well, second favourite behind Ariane de Zoo, Carlo van der Watering. You are, Carlo.
Yeah, I'll forgive you for that one. He's my favourite one as well, besides my mum, my dad, my sister, dog, everybody. So I'll let you off with that one.
Also on the show, we have Jim O'Brien. Jim, how are you?
I'm okay, mate. I'm okay. Surviving, just like everybody else, really. Just trying to keep my mind occupied so I don't go mental.
Yeah, nice to see you. Looking well. Is the hat hiding? Is it hiding your rubbish haircut?
Yeah, I mean, my balance at that stage where I think I looked like when I first came down and I was growing my hair and stuff. So it's a bit of a mess.
Oh, aye. So it's still better than still cooler than mine and Carlos. So that's all right.
Dug this old hat just to put it on for this. You know what I mean?
What have you been doing to keep busy, Jimmy? What have you been up to?
Well, I've no long moved into my new house, so I've had plenty to pick it on me. Just getting stuff organised. Feels like I'm a bit of a standstill now, but just hanging stuff, pictures and clocks, and getting stuff delivered, and spent a fortune on Amazon because they're the only ones.
Yeah.
Building furniture, and I was lucky that I got in. I got in the day before we went into lockdown, so still waiting on a couple of bits. But like I say, just keeping busy and got that between that and fitness work, and then my little boy. It's the days are going all right, you know. It's not.
Oh God, yeah, you're really busy then, aren't you, with the boy and plenty of decorating and whatnot. And I'm assuming the cardboard bin's very full with Amazon delivering every day.
Well, it's the garage is full right up to the door, so it's a bit of a pain in the arse, but I mean it is what it is. Just got to get on with it, and hopefully the tips will open up soon.
Exactly.
Jimmy, obviously, looking back at your time at Barnsley, me and Chris were talking the other night, and there's a couple of things that stand out for me. First of all, you seemed like you were the joker of the pack. You were definitely the most musical ones. But one image that will always stay with me, and my memory is shocking, but I can remember Oakwell, home match, and Flicker sort of picked you up, and I think he carried you literally through the tunnel and back. What are your memories of your time at Barnsley? What stands out for you the most?
The people, I think, more than anything. When I first moved down, it was like I wanted a jump start on like finding somewhere to live. So I actually came down in the summer because I'd signed a pre-contract like the last week in the season before. So I knew I was coming. So I wanted to get a jump start. I came down and viewed some houses, and the hardest thing was sort of trying to decide where to live.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I sort of settled in, decided to move, because I used to like rolling out my bed in the morning and into training. I wasn't one for travelling half an hour on the motorway or anything like that. So I thought, no, I'll settle here. And obviously, once that settling in period was good for me, and it was the people that I've met through my time here, and like I call this my home now, you know. So it's no there's plenty of ups and downs football-wise, but the biggest one for me is definitely the people that I've met.
Your debut was obviously against Middlesbrough. I believe you came on a sub in a 2-0 victory, which is a good start. You must have thought this is quite easy winning at Barnsley, coming into a winning team, I suppose.
It was a difficult start because I think I got injured. I pulled my thigh I think it was like after the training session after the first pre-season game or something like that.
Right.
And then I think I missed the Sheffield Wednesday game, that friendly. And then I was out for like 6 weeks. So that was my first game back, and it was against my former manager as well, Gordon Strachan. He'd release me, or he'd let me go basically. Didn't want to give me a new deal in that at Celtic. So I get a 2-0 victory over them was really good. They had some good players on really big money at that time as well. So that was a great start.
Is that one of the beauties of playing for Barnsley or playing for a team like Barnsley? It always feels like we're the underdogs to a certain extent. Did you enjoy that mentality?
Yeah, I did. I mean, you come up, you more often than not, especially the championship at that time, the gulf in wages, like from top to say us, was like ridiculous.
Yeah, I still think it is.
We were never really expected to do anything special, and I think like when I first came, it was a big eye opener. Like, it took me a while to settle into the team. Obviously, getting injured never helped, but I think the move and the settling into my new house, my new surroundings and stuff. Like, I never really got into the team properly until it was like round about Christmas time.
Yeah,
I didn't start very well. But I think that just comes with it, and you're young and naive, and you're not used to the Saturday, Tuesday coming from Scotland, where predominantly it's Saturday, you know. So
yeah.
That was a big eye opener. And then I think my first season we played like 4 games in 9 days over Christmas, and that was like, wow, never experienced anything like that. And I was only 23, so it wasn't like I was an experienced pro. I played a lot of games, but I think you're naive, you know. And I think, but definitely one thing, like I've always liked being the underdog and try to prove people wrong. And I remember my first interview I'd done when I got to the club. It was a guy at the club for the website, and the first thing he said to me, first day I'd met him, before we started rolling, he just says, he says, what kind of player are you? I just says, no, I'm just a grafter, like, you know. And he says, look, put that in here and you'll do all right, you know. You and all the rest of it. And that was one thing that stuck with me through all my time, you know.
You made some good friends during your time at Barnsley, didn't you? I'm going back to the I suppose when everything was still normal and football was being played. You, Greasy, Steely, there was something, you know, to come dine with me that you sort of did. Were they the closest friends, and are you still in contact with them now, or?
They were my closest, which is weird because like I normally like hammering the goalies, but they were a bit older than me. Steely straight away. I think after we had a wee pre-season trip down to Champneys, I think it was called. And I had taken the guitar just to mess about in the room because I didn't really know anyone. Steely was straight in, and then after that, like I wasn't moving into my house till like September, and Steely says, "Come and stay with me," like straight away, and I was like, "Wow, that was unbelievable." And he was obviously tight to Prissy, and we had a few nights out and stuff, the 3 of us, and it just sort of went for there. And I was sort of in the goalies union, really. But they were good. They were great and helped me settle in. And Prissy played with my cousin in Scotland as well, so that sort of broke the ice, you know. So, but they were great lads. Still speak to them now. Prissy's in Sweden, coaching, and obviously, well, you know, Steely's story is still going, and still plugging away.
They said that goalkeepers are crazy, Jim. Would that be a fair conclusion?
No, these two, no. Steely's got a great outlook in life. He's very positive, and I was sort of drawn to that, you know, as a person. Like, he's
Yeah.
funny lad, good-looking lad. So on a night out, like, I was always the one that was taking one for the team. I was, you know, the pal, I was the ugly pal. Do you know what I mean? So, Steely was good in that way, but he had a good outlook in life. And Precy was just a northern lad, really funny, good dry sense of humour, and that's probably why we sort of hit it off like quite quickly.
What about
You mentioned.
sorry.
Go on, Carl. You're fine.
What about managers then, Jim? Obviously brought to the club by Mark Robbins. We've had Keith Hill. You had Flicker. What about the managers you played under at Barnsley?
Gordon Strachan as well. You mentioned Gordon Strachan, so you've worked with quite a lot of bosses.
Do you mean throughout my career, or?
Well, let's first look at Barnsley. If you look at Robbins, Hill, and Flicker, what sort of coaching style suited you the best? Because they were all completely different, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed when I got the phone call in the summer when Mark he rang around all the players and he said he was leaving, and I sort of owed him a lot, really, because he took a chance on a relatively unknown from Scotland and brought me down. And I was disappointed when he left because we'd done well that season. I think we just stayed up because Portsmouth went into administration, if that's right. And then obviously, like, I think something happened where maybe he wasn't getting the backing for the next season or whatever. And so, like, I was disappointed. But then Hilly came in, brought a load of lads in with him that he had worked with before and he had known, and I think he maybe underestimated the championship, the jump maybe. So a lot of us were sort of out the picture to start with, and then once the season kicked in, he sort of realised, and I think, like, me and Bobby, I don't think we were in and about it. It's like straight away we were sort of left out in that, and it was just a case of, well, here we go. This could be a long season, you know. But no, we had a good group, and he was good at getting the lads together, and it was all simple stuff with Hilly. The training was really good, high tempo, and again, if you worked hard, but we spoke to a couple of lads who he brought in, and they said, look, if you graft for him, then, you know, you've got a right chance, and he'll like you, and that was the case.
And that turned out to be a good season in the end.
Aye, it was a good season, and then obviously we never started the next one very well, and it's just one of them that he lost his job and stuff, and Flickers took over, and that must have been really difficult, you know, because they were like chalk and cheese, the two of them. They were like thick as thieves, and but different sort of characters. Flickers, it's I think it would be difficult going from being the assistant manager to then being the manager, because, like, we were still calling him Flickers. When he got the job at the end of the season, it wasn't a case of gaffer, like, he wasn't like that, and we were still calling him Flickers, and I find that a bit weird as well. If somebody's a manager, they're the manager, you know. And but no, he was great in that respect, and we obviously went on that mad run, and I'm sure we'll get.
Yeah, what a job he did. Was he just the right man in the right place with the right skill set at the right time?
I have said before, it's just like it was I think it was subconscious thing. Well, that's right or wrong. You get a kick up the backside, and it's not nice to see somebody losing their job. And
no.
Obviously, we knew Flickers and we liked Flickers, and when he'd sort of got the job temporarily, it was like, right, well, let's go and graft our balls off for him and see if we can get him it, really. And like I say, it's a kick up the backside, and you sort of, sometimes you don't realise how good you've got it, and you hear about other managers in the game, and they've got you in it every day, and you're doing double, triple sessions, and I did it good, man. Like, Flicker's thing was go and get a result, and you can have Monday off, and like planting, like, holding little carrots up like that, you know. Like, he was good with time off, and like, he was go and see your families and all the rest of it. So he was good that way, and I think that's how, like, he sort of embedded himself into getting the players playing for him.
Just one more thing on managers before Carlo moves on to the next topic. Out of all the managers that you've worked for, Jim, is there a piece of advice that sticks out more than anything else? We had Alex Mowatt on a few weeks back, and he mentioned Gary Monk saying that it was a very short career, and it was important that when he was training to separate that mindset from when he wasn't, and to focus 100%. And he said that stuck with him, and it still does to today. I just wondered if there was something like that that you could give as a piece of advice that a manager may have given you that still sticks with you now, or stuck with you for a long time.
Yeah, when we were coming through in the youth team, our head of youth was a Celtic legend. So everybody respected him and stuff straight away. Obviously, what he'd done in his career and Scotland international, Tommy Burns.
Right.
No longer with us, but absolute legend and the best guy I've ever known. I mean, great guys. It's a term that gets thrown about, but this guy was probably the best human being I've ever known. He was so special to a lot of us, and his piece of advice was, he used to say it all the time, is that he used to say it won't be the most talented one that makes it. It'll be the hardest working one, and the one that sacrifices, and it's that old hard work will beat talent and stuff like that. It wasn't cheesy like that, but he would just, in a serious way, and he would say, he would just say it won't be the most talented one that makes it. And I think probably 90% of our youth team went on to make a career in the game. So, to get something like that, that's always stuck with me. And he was a legend. He's no longer with us now, but unbelievable guy.
You talk about the academy at Celtic. You're now putting your hours in at the academy at Barnsley. Is there a similar sort of setup almost? Because a lot of the coaches are ex-professionals. If you look at Tom Harben, maybe not as well known, but definitely a big part of it. Martin Devaney, obviously as academy director. Bobby Hassel, yourself now involved as well. When you were at the academy, do you take instruction better of people that have been there and done that and have been through it?
I think so, but you've got to take everybody at face value, and there'll be coaches there who maybe never played as high as me, but there's better coaches than me. It's not as easy. When I remember when I first started talking about doing my badges and stuff, and people were saying, "Oh, you'll sail through it. It's easy and stuff," but it's a big eye opener in the course. And I mean, you watch your sessions back and stuff, and you can hear your voice all crackly because you're so nervous. And but the more you do it, the more you become comfortable with it. But I think in terms of for me going in, the kids have been brilliant. The coaches that I've worked with, they've told the kids, obviously, they're a bit younger, they'll not remember when I was at Barnsley or whatever, but I think in terms of as well, the fact that I'm still playing, they're quite receptive to what I'm telling them. And the kids throughout the academy, they're all great kids, and they listen, take the points on board, and that's all you want really. If you're coaching, is the fact that they listen and they learn and they take it on, take your advice, and then they go and do something. You get a little buzz if you stop and make a coaching point, an individual point, and then 2 minutes later the opportunity comes up and the kid does what you've sort of instructed him to do or helped him do, and he does it. That's where the little buzz comes. And but no, I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I am. That obviously I played with Bobby, and he's in at the club, and spoke to him, and then everyone's been really welcoming and helping me. And but I don't know in terms of when I was coming through, to answer your question, I don't remember when I was really, really young having coaches that I knew had played the game. Wasn't like that. I don't think there was many. So I think it's just because it's more of a respect thing. Respect your elders first, and I think you've got to realise that you're shaping people as well as players. There's a big respect thing at the academy, even if it's a handshake or a fist bump, or do you know what I mean? Whatever the kids are comfortable with, but there's a big respect thing. They look at coaches in the eye when they shake their hand, and they don't walk by, even if they don't know the coach. As soon as they see the badge, they come up and they say hello and stuff like that. So I think at this age, I think you've got to realise that you're shaping people, and not just players.
And there's a lot of satisfaction in that. Obviously, as a player, the satisfaction of scoring a winning goal or being part of a team that wins a game that's important, or assisting, being part of that squad day in, day out. There must be a lot of satisfaction in seeing the growth of you, and you've been a part of that. Is it something that you're wanting to go forward and do, obviously full time in future?
Well, yeah, that's the main thing. Like, you're only as good as your offers, really. And one of the coaches was sort of sounding me out for next season about maybe taking a team, but I had to say that I can't because obviously family reasons and stuff, and I'm still playing. So my weekend with my little boy and stuff, so I can't take the team on a Sunday and stuff like that. So, but yeah, there's a big satisfaction. I mean, I remember I'd taken a finishing drill, like got thrown on my toes, took all the strikers for all the age groups. Just one night, I was like, shit, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So just set up something really simple, strikers, putting the ball around the corner, following it, getting your shot away. And then it was about 4 weeks later, and I was taking my boots off, ready to jump in the car and leave after a session, and a little lad's dad come up to me and he showed me a clip from the game where his little lad had played the ball around the corner, and I was like, fucking hell, that was brilliant, That was the little buzz that I got from it. And just from there, little things like that you see and you take, and that's a sort of giving back. You get that back. And I didn't see myself, or I didn't envisage myself maybe being a coach, or it wasn't something that was, I really want to do that. It was something, my mindset was, I'll probably go into that because it's the most natural progression. And as I've got a bit older, I realised how much I actually do love football. And when you're out of contract and stuff, that sort of hits home. And so yeah, like, but ever since I've been in there, like, it's definitely something that I really want to do. And obviously to go full time at that would be ideal.
It rings true for us, that, doesn't it, Chris? Because when Jim says you're shaping a young person, Chris's background, ex-police officer working in the school, I work with young offenders and victims of crime. So it's right, isn't it? Because for a lot of these people, they go to the match and they see, and they're idols, aren't they? Players are idols. When we buy the shirts, even at 48, I go and buy a shirt and I will mow it on it. I mean, a few years ago, mine was O'Brien, hence I was stalking you on Instagram. But because you become sort of role models, don't you? And if you can then look off the pitch as well, that is really important, isn't it? Because I think if kids have something that motivates them, that will only set them up further on in life. Yeah,
and it's good that they can talk to me about, because I'm still playing as well. That's what I mean. They're really receptive. Like, I'll go in and the kids will say to me, "Oh, like, what was your score at the weekend?" And I'll tell them, and then they'll say, "Fuck, it's only Notts County." Do you know what I mean? They're just getting banter with them and stuff like that. "Oh, what league are you in?" and stuff like that. And you've got lads from all over. You've got Leeds fans, Sheffield United fans, Barnsley fans, and they're all hammering each other. And just seeing them have that relationship with each other, and it's great. And like, you just try to. What I've realised as well with the kids is, like, there's so many different personalities. I think that's where being a manager or a coach will be very difficult, is trying to pinpoint what that person's like and what that person's like. And you can't treat everyone the same. Some kids need the rocket, some kids need their arm around them, some kids need showing in different ways, they need visuals, or you can tell one kid, like, play that ball into there in the corner first time, he'll do it no problem. You need to stop a session, show another kid how to do it and the technique, and everybody's different. And yeah, so I think that comes into it as well. And that's one of the main things that I've realised since I've started doing that as well.
Jimmy, yourself as a player then, how would you describe yourself as being able to be coached or managed? I'm assuming obviously you've been a grafter. Every manager loves that, but were you easy to manage, would you say?
I would say it was. I mean, some managers might tell you different. I would always, well, I will always.
Who might tell us different, Jimmy?
I know, like, managers that maybe, like, you get some scenarios where the club maybe don't fancy anymore. A new manager comes in, he doesn't fancy it. Like, the thing that sticks out, or the person that sticks out in my head, is Paul Hurst when he came into Shrewsbury.
Right.
Really good guy, pretty honest. The club, you're wanting your money to go, and the club want to pay. They want you to go for nothing, but you're not going to go for nothing. I'm sitting on a year's deal here. Little thing like that, and then you've got to, without being too disrespectful, you've got to be a bit of an arse to get out, because you want him putting pressure on the club to pay you to go.
Yeah.
You know, so little things like that. But like I spoke to him after I'd left, and when they got to the playoffs and stuff, and good guy. You know, you don't want to be the guy that's difficult. But I was never. I don't think I was ever hard to manage in terms of getting told what to do. I've always been. Somebody tells me to do something, I'll do it to the best of my ability, or I'll maybe forget to do something else because I'm trying so hard to do that one thing that they've maybe asked me. So in terms of that, I don't think I was hard to manage. I always seemed to take information on and just concentrate. Again, from a young age, that was one thing that, like, even my dad would tell me, like, listen to your coaches, and if they ask you to do something, just do it. And that's one thing I've done throughout my career. But obviously, the older I've got, the sort of less you need told, with the amount of games that you've played, and comes with experience, and you don't really need told certain things. Just like little tweaks, information, or weaknesses of the opposition and stuff like that. But there comes a time probably in every player's career where he needs to be a bit of an arse just to try and get out. But it would never be. I was always for the lads, no matter if I was wanted at a club or not. I always wanted the lads to do well. I would never sit in the stand or sit in the bench and want the lads to get beat, because, you know, if you win, you win together. And I mean, I see a lot of things nowadays where maybe in the last five years or so, where if young players only getting a sniff at clubs, or a new manager comes in and he doesn't fancy that player, where they'll just down tools and they'll just be like that. I was always like, well, I'll show him. Like that sort of mentality, it gave me energy. Like being pissed off, still does. So yeah, like I've seen a big change in the game in the last maybe 5 years or so. In that
mentality of yours, Jimmy, is the reason you're still in the game, isn't it? It's the reason why you've been in the game for so long.
I'd like to think some ability as well, but I mean,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I mean, you'll come across people, and if you're out in the pub and stuff like that, there's always somebody that's saying, "Oh, he could have made it. He could have made it. He could have." And it's like, well, might have been a good player, but it takes a lot to actually make it. And sometimes it's about timing and luck and 100%. But like, if you want it, then you'll get it.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, because we've only got 40 minutes, Chris, can you ask about room 102 in a bit? I just want to ask, Jimmy, you were known as the Joker of the pack. There has to be something or some bits that you got up to behind the screens with maybe some of the other players or whatever that we don't know. Can you tell us some of your better moments behind the scenes as the Joker?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I was always just trying to be quite sharp and quick-witted and have a laugh. And I think the main one was when I first moved down, and so I think I just moved into my house, and I was injured at the time, like I said earlier. And we were supposed to do this appearance, and it was on like a Wednesday night, like a supporters appearance. And so I've come in on the Thursday, and I've went, oh no, like I was supposed to do an appearance last night, but it wasn't. It was the following week, so I hadn't missed it, but I thought I'd missed it. So I'm saying to a couple of lads, oh, I've missed it. I was meant to do that with Jason Shackle last night. So anyway, I went into the treatment room, come back, and so the lads have said to Shax, did you do that thing last night? He's like, no, it's not, it's next week. All right, wind Jim up then. So I've come back in, and he's saying, Jim, Gaffer's fuming, man. You need to go in and see him. And bearing that, I've been in the door maybe 2-3 weeks, so I was shitting myself, like, oh no, like, Gaffer's going to find me 2 weeks' wages, and all my money's going into my new house, and I can't afford that, and I was sweating. So I went and knocked Mark Robbins' door. He came to the door, and I said, Gaff, I'm really sorry, missed that appearance last night. And they went, what appearance? So I knew straight away that it was a wind-up, and I just had to go with it. I laid it on thick. Oh, I've split up with my girlfriend and I'm moving it in new home. I'm so sorry I forgot. And he's like, all right, don't let it happen again. So I think he knew that it was a wind up as well. So it was like one of those. So anyway, that goes back in. Boys are killing themselves laughing, and I'm just thinking, well, what can I do when the boys go out to training? So boys go to training. I think I was the only one in there, and I decided to take a shit in Shax's sock and put it back in his training. And he was the last one to leave that day as well, so you can imagine like the dressing room was horrific. But then we didn't really know each other anyway. Like it was still quite new. It was only a few weeks in and whatever. And then so he texted me later on, and I just had to go big. He was fuming. Like he's like, oh, we'll sort it out tomorrow, and I'll start doing your car and all that. And I says, listen, big man, like you go ahead. I'll just put a spade through your windscreen. And I was shitting myself because I had a new car at the time as well. So I thought, oh no, if he starts messing with the cars, but I had to sort of call his bluff on it, and nothing really happened in the end. But that was probably the main one that sticks it.
That's good. Two very obvious questions. I know Carl's keen to finish short.
I'm not keen to finish. I have to start paying after another 8 minutes or whatever.
8 minutes. That's fine.
They say the Scottish are tight.
Yeah, look at the Dutch.
Hey, Dutch. I don't even know he's Dutch. Did you know that? Jimmy, two very obvious questions. And I think you know what the answers are going to be. Your favourite goal, first and foremost, for Barnsley?
It's got to be my first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
First one?
A 1 yard tap in with no goalkeeper, deadly. Against Leeds. Yeah, that was a performance, and seen it recently. I've seen it back recently, and some of the goals are brilliant. We played really well that night, and that was like that was my first sort of introduction to like a derby down here.
Yeah.
They brought like 6,000.
Right.
Well, they said they brought 4 million, but I think we only counted 6,000, didn't we? Because they always bring millions, don't they?
But the atmosphere that night was incredible. I just remember the Ponty end was mental. Like it was a great atmosphere that night, and obviously to get my first goal, and
yeah,
that was sort of right. I've settled in now, and yeah, good memory of that.
You scored the winner against Millwall as well. Just the only goal of the game.
That's right. That's right. Used to make that run all the time, but the centre halves couldn't really see it. Just lucky Crane saw it that day.
Yeah. Well, they could see you, they just couldn't find you.
That's standing behind people shouting for the ball. But no, I didn't score a lot of goals, but I always enjoy my goals. They're good. It's a good feeling you get, but I was never that player who was going to get you 10, 15 goals a season from midfield. It wasn't me.
Your favourite memory at Barnsley, is it surviving relegation?
I mean, just in terms of what we achieved that season, we were talking about earlier about budgets and stuff, like the run we went on was ridiculous. And again, it's like, obviously it's like the anniversary, and yeah, a bit of a surreal moment. I missed all the celebrations in the dressing room after the game because I was doing an interview on the pitch, and missed all the initial celebrations. But that feeling when we're all standing at the side, and the Wilco, the goalie coach, he was listening on the radio, and it was a good weekend that we had.
Yeah. I bet it were. Yeah, I bet you didn't miss the celebrations afterwards. You might have missed the early celebrations.
I think we went out in Manchester that night, just to get away from it, and then I come back to go to some party in the car park or something like that, and I was still pissed. My dad came in for the weekend with my uncle, and I had to go. I went back to the cricket club that I drink in, and I had a few in there, and seen a picture the other day. Actually, my eyes like 2 piss holes in the snow. Still
What about then? If you look back over your career, and that can even be as a sort of like up-and-coming coach, if we gave you the opportunity to get rid of one thing in football, one thing, me and Chris will have a really quick discussion and we'll make it disappear. We've had VAR, we've had referees. What else have we had, Chris?
The offside rule, the new offside rule.
Yeah.
Wind, we've had wind.
Wind, yeah. What would you want to get rid of in football?
Social media.
I
mean, it's a big part of the game now, and
yeah.
I used to be on Twitter and stuff like that, and I remember I was driving home for training one day while I was at Barnsley, and I was just having a flick through, and I was at the traffic lights, and I thought, I'm spending far too much time on this. I'm going to come off and see how I feel and stuff like that. And honestly, it was incredible. Like, didn't miss it at all, and I've not had it since. And it's good up to a certain point, because you get access. As fans get access to players and all the rest of it, but you see a lot of pandering to supporters, which drives me mental.
And I think
fans were great. On to the next one, and just sort of pandering and like just want to be loved, and that's sort of the way the game's gone, and that sort of pisses me off a bit. But
so are we putting social media into room 102? Are we putting pandering to fans?
I mean, that's just a pet hate of mine. I mean, I'm sure I did it when I was a bit younger, and sort of sometimes I'll hammer young lads at the club with like it's everything on their Instagram's football, and I'm trying to say to them like, there's nothing wrong with being proud of what you do and being proud of the team that you play for and all the rest of it, but use your social media to show people that you've got a personality and you're not just a robot and stuff like that.
What I can remember really well from the time when you had Twitter is people love to give it out, but if they got it back, it sort of, they suddenly, start not liking people or blocking players or whatever. And I always said,
they got it back. And
oh yeah, I know they did.
The sort of start of the Twitter thing, and I'm always late to the party when it comes to stuff like that as well. So it's been out a few years, but we never had a code of conduct in place at that time at Barnsley. So anything went really, as long as it wasn't racist, sexist, homophobic, anything like that. As long as it wasn't anything like that, it was open season for me. Like, I'm calling kids SpongeBob, and they're probably about 14 or something. Do you know what I mean? SpongeBob SquareHead and little things like that. But it was one thing I noticed as a player though is like you could play a game and get 100 people say brilliant, and then you'll get one person who might not even be a supporter of the club, and they'll hammer you, and that might sit with you.
Yeah.
Think, who's this little shit? Like, who does he think he is? And it would sort of eat away at you. And I think that was another reason why I come on. I was like, I don't need this in my life.
So Jimmy, if we were to make a deal, then we'll not put social media in, but we'll put pandering to social media, pandering to players, or abusing and not being able to take the abuse back. How would that sound?
I think I'll go with pandering to supporters. That's my pet hate with players and stuff.
Oh, can we put that one into room 102?
Well, we can, on the condition that he keeps his Gymstagram account, because I like looking through the photos and making sure he's all right.
Yeah, that's good.
Me, like, that's no problem. I mean, as I've got a little bit older as well, like, all my Instagram pictures is pretty much my wee boy anyway, do you know what I mean? So it's I don't really use it for that.
And credit where credit's due, because I literally just sent you a private message saying, this is what we do you fancy coming on? And it was like, oh yeah, no problem. And you still have other players or ex-players, they're like, oh no, I ain't got time, I'm not interested, I'm not bothered. And I get it, Jim, because everybody's got a life, but it's really appreciated that you did.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on, Jim. You'll have to come back. You have to come back when football resumes.
Aye, I mean, I'm here. This is my home, like I said. But I think if people are saying they've not got time at the minute, then sort of question to be asked. You know what I mean? But no, like I said, and I done an interview for the paper there recently, and I said like Barnsley really has given me everything in my life. It's given me my son, so anything I can ever do for the club, and it's I still call it my club. It's my team and whatever, and. So it's a big place in my heart in terms of my life, and so I can't speak highly enough about it.
Well,
yeah, Jimmy, you're
my favourite Scotsman in Barnsley. Let me just tell you that.
What about? Oh yeah, well, Gaz don't live in Barnsley, does he?
No, he's only a half one.
No, Jimmy, thanks for coming. Obviously, I wish you best on your immediate future endeavours, be it playing and coaching. Hopefully he'll come back on the show when football returns and we can talk about Barnsley winning again, which would be nice. And we look forward to hearing about, how you're getting on at Oakwell and stuff. Come back on. Carlo, I think that's pretty much it. So
yeah, that's it.
I've been Chris Richard. He's been Carlo van der Waterten. Jim O'Brien, thank you very much for joining us. In case we don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.